north of South Carolina or anywhere else in the world, enter the Cat Cave with D. White and Shannon Smith, a part of the Keep Pounding Podcast Network, powered by the Fans First Sports Network, where you can find shows such as Winning the Division with my play cousin Ryan Smith and NFL alum Ben Troop. He also hosts Inside the Vault. And don't forget to watch Believe Panthers on the Believe Network with the founder of Tobacco Road Sports Radio, Desmond Johnson, and the all-time leading rusher in Carolina Panthers history, Jonathan Stewart. Everybody, welcome back to the Cat Cave. Now, I know we on a Tuesday. We here on a Tuesday. Sorry about that. You know, I got a little thing going on Thursday. Got to do a little something on Thursday. Unfortunately, Thursday is usually our time slot, but we here on a Tuesday to talk some Carolina Panthers football. I am Shannon Smith, a.k.a. Podcast Smitty, holding down Western North Carolina. And I got the beast from the Northeast, North Carolina, Pasquotank County's own D. White. My brother, how you doing?
Good, brother. Good. Had a solid week. Next 2 days off. Panther win. Can't complain.
Now that's what I'm talking about right there, baby. That's good. Now, what we got to talk about this week is the Carolina Panthers, their comeback win against the Atlanta Falcons. And, man, you know, the bad part about it was, you know, I was thinking about this yesterday when I was cleaning up the house, when I grabbed that old broom and I swept the floor. Reminded me of Sunday when those Carolina Panthers completed the sweep against the Atlanta Falcons, the first sweep of the Atlanta Falcons since 2013. Whew, mighty long time. That's when the Panthers made their way to the Super Bowl. They had that Super Bowl squad there, that 15-1 squad regular season. It was getting it in. This is the first time this has happened against the Atlanta Falcons. This was big because we had a record there. And then we had another record, which we're going to get into later on, that we got to talk about with the quarterback position. But first and foremost, D, 30-27 win in overtime. We had to go in the extras against the Atlanta Falcons. D, your overall thoughts of this game?
To me, this proved what I said before. The Falcons are our one true rival. This game was crazy from start to finish. It was close, and then it wasn't, and then it was close again, and then it was amazing. I'm a big Panther fan, obviously. Do not like the Falcons. I was a big Vic fan, so I mean that was the only time I was like, "Go Falcons!" But Panther to the core. You gotta respect that team for the fight that they had. Bijan Robinson was going crazy. Penix Jr. was going crazy. And it just seemed like we found a way to shut them down. 6 points in the second half. We come back not only down 14 at half, shut them down, but we overcome that. Get what? 20 points in the second half.
Yep.
And another 3 in overtime to edge them out. Bro, this was an amazing game from both teams. The Panthers were able to pull it out, but you got to give credit to the Falcons. And they just had a crazy amount of grit. And, I mean, respect to them, but, you know, keep pounding.
Yes, I tell you what, it looked a little grim in the beginning of the game as the Atlanta Falcons got ahead. They jumped up. They jumped ahead. Well, actually, I take that back. Carolina striking blood first. Teodoro McMillan, 7-yard touchdown pass from Bryce Young. Carolina getting the lead over Atlanta 7-0. Then Atlanta came in 21 unanswered points, getting Bijan Robinson into the end zone twice. 4-yard rush to tie the game, and then a 1-yard rush, 14-7. Then Tyler Algier, someone that we haven't really seen a lot of in Atlanta, getting the 1-yard rush. They were on the ground. Like, Atlanta took a page from Carolina's book and ran the football effectively got into the end zone. Then, of course, to end the first half, Ryan Fitzgerald hits the field goal, makes it 10-21 at the half. Then after that, here comes Carolina. Xavier Legette, 36-yard pass from Bryce Young, got the touchdown, 16-21. They failed on the two-point conversion. This time around, a field goal from Ryan Fitzgerald, 34 yards out. Zane Gonzalez getting the field goal to match it, make it 24-19 Atlanta. Then here comes Carolina. Terror McMillan with his second touchdown of the game. Bryce Young getting the passing touchdown to him. But then Zane Gonzalez, Atlanta gets a good return on the kickoff. Gets in good field position. Zane Gonzalez with the field goal. But then Atlanta gets the ball first in overtime. Couldn't do anything. They go 3 and out. And let me tell you what, a big time play. Tommy Tremble getting that 54-yard, that run, that 54-yard pass completion. Carolina runs a couple plays. Ryan Fitzgerald, our ice water in the vein, young man with the field goal. Carolina walks away 30-27 with the win. A nail-biter of a game, like you said, D, because this was rivalry written all over it. I know that the Saints are a bitter rival to the Panthers, but this Atlanta Falcons rivalry is a big rivalry. As you said before, you're absolutely correct. I believe that. But in this game, the intangibles here, Carolina getting the first sweep over the Atlanta Falcons since 2013. Big time in Carolina Panthers history. We talked about that. But now we got to get to the quarterback position. Seems like we've been talking about the quarterback position a lot. And we're going to talk about it right now as Bryce Young. What a game he had. 31 of 45 passing, 448 yards, and 3 touchdowns in the game. No INTs. 123.2 passer rating and a 74.6 QBR. Now,
and one good ankle.
Yes. Thank you. You're right. Thank you. There you go. Now, coming off of that, he was hurt. Bryce was hurt. He played hurt, and he went out there and he played with a lot of guts. We're going to get into that because we got to talk about that. That's another intangible that we got to speak on is the clutch factor, the guts of Bryce Young. But let's get to this record. Let's get to these statistical records here. I believe Bryce Young broke a record this Sunday. I believe he broke a record, most passing yards in a single game. He beat out Cam Newton for that. Now, we've been talking a lot about the running game and how the running game has been so effective. Atlanta keyed on Rico Dowdle, and the running game didn't have that big of a day. It didn't. But the fact that Bryce showed up passing the football in this game and was clutch doing it. Let's talk about this passing game. Let's talk about it, D. This is a game that Bryce is knocking on the door on this one right here. When the chips were down, we have seen Bryce Young dig deep and perform, getting the game-winning drives, coming up clutch in this game, definitely. This was a big game. This was a game Carolina needed. He stepped up in this game. Your thoughts on Bryce right now as we speak?
Breakout game. I'm not gonna harp too much on the fact that the running game wasn't as effective and that his offensive line didn't really do him too many favors. But this game showed that Bryce, for his quarterback class, seems to be the toughest quarterback chosen. It showed that Bryce has that clutch factor. It showed that Bryce knows what he's doing, and it showed like those first 2 years in the league of him not having a great offensive line to now having a decent one, the kind of shaky one, because Zavala kind of left him high and dry a couple times. Rico Dowdle, he kind of messed the block, got Bryce hurt a little bit. We're not gonna harp on that, but the fact that Bryce he's had this experience with a line that wasn't as talented before. He knew how to maneuver in the pocket. He knew how to extend. He knew when to step up, it seemed like. Sometimes he still struggled a little bit. But I think that was more so the ankle was still bothering him. He can't move around too much. Cool. Bryce knew what he was doing and bombed that team with 448 yards. His wide receivers helped him by actually catching the ball. Everybody besides T-Mac. Jalen Coker was great when his number was called. Leggett, who I think we might have missed speaking on him when you did the overview of the scoring. Leggett had an amazing catch that he actually went up with two hands and caught the touchdown instead of trying to do the one hand. That was amazing. Like I said, Coker was great. Bryson Tremaine was great, even though he didn't have to catch the ball to prove his worth. The team knew he can catch the ball, and that opened it up for Mitchell Evans to get his nice first down. Rico Dowdle, he had a great catch that could have been a touchdown if he hadn't stepped out. Chuba was great. He's coming back. You're seeing he's more helpful. He's more healthy. It's just everybody helped Bryce in the passing game by actually catching the ball. Now we're actually seeing, oh, well, Bryce could put it there. He just needed people that could catch it. And that's what happened. Bryce, this wouldn't be the only game that Bryce had 300 passing yards if he had receivers that could catch the ball. And this game, everything came together. Everybody caught the ball because the running game, it still kept them honest. We still ran the ball, but Bryce knew when to throw it. He knew how to throw it and how far to throw it. Everything just aligned, and it was amazing. That was great quarterback play from our franchise quarterback. Now, next week, I hope the same thing happens, but I'm a temper myself because we know he can throw 31 for 44 and at least get 448. Now we're going against a great team. They were what? Top passing defense?
Yep.
We shredded them.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just see if we can, not sit on our butts and let Bryce deal it. Let him get some shots down the field. So that's a lot for me to talk about. I'm sorry.
Definitely. That to me, I was very impressed with Bryce's game. This was a breakout game, definitely a big game for him this year. Definitely having to, of course, the critiques of Bryce Young, not playing your statistically eye-popping quarterback games. We talked about how, Bryce doesn't have to have these video game type numbers in order for Carolina to win. But he had video game numbers in this game. And Carolina was able to come back and win, which was very, very big, very key, because with the running game, I wouldn't say taking a step back. I would say there's more keying on the running game, and rightfully so. It needs to be. So the fact that Bryce was able to step up into the absence of the running game, or when the running game was lacking, is big, because you're going to need that. You're going to need that from your offense because they got to feed off each other. And yes, Tedoror McMillan, 8 catches, 130 yards, and 2 touchdowns in this game. Xavier Leggett, 4 catches, 83 yards, and a touchdown. You talked Rico Dowdle, 5 catches, 55 yards. Tommy Tremble, his 1 catch, 54 yards. And that was the biggest catch of the game, getting Carolina into the prime position where Ryan Fitzgerald was able to kick the field goal. Jalen Coker, 4 catches, 52 yards. In this game, Mitchell Evans, 2 catches, 28. Jatavian Sanders, 4 catches, 22 yards. Bryson Tremaine, who you said, 2 catches, 17 yards, and 1 catch, 7 yards from Chuba Hubbard. Bryce Young finding receivers early and often, especially in that second half, was key. Now, Looking at this Falcons offense, of course, they had a facelift in this game with Michael Penix Jr. getting hurt and Kirk Cousins, Coach Haynes coming into the game. I was watching Believe in Panthers, and when Jonathan Stewart and Dez said that when Kirk Cousins came in the game, it was barbecue chicken. And I couldn't agree more because I looked at it and I was like, whoa. And now we see in the news that Michael Penix Jr. is probably going to be out for the season.
Yeah.
And there will be more of Kirk Cousins in Atlanta. They moved on from him and put Michael Penix Jr. in there. It's been hit and miss off and on, but Michael Penix Jr., 13 of 16 passes, 175 yards, no touchdowns, no INTs. It was a running day for the Atlanta Falcons, and I believe that's what hurt them with this comeback is their inability to move the ball via the forward pass. Give that to the Carolina Panthers, able to shut down the forward pass. I know Drake London still 119 yards off 7 catches, but there was a big drop off from him to the other receivers. No one getting under 50 yards receiving in this game for Atlanta. So Atlanta not being able to pass the ball was rough for them. Credit the Carolina Panther defense on that one. So I must give credit to them.
It also
With this,
he got hurt too.
Go ahead.
Drake Honey got hurt. He got taken out of the game, so that kind of took a lot of their momentum too.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Atlanta didn't catch the breaks in the second half, and that's sometimes what happens. You don't get the breaks. And I know that not a lot of people want to speak on luck, and I get it. But sometimes the dominoes got to fall in your favor and in Atlanta's favor, especially in that second half. The dominoes did not fall in their favor. The Panthers were able to capitalize when the dominoes fell in their favor. Atlanta gave the lead up. Let's be real about this. This is more along the lines of Atlanta giving the lead up. They gave the lead up. They had the chance to shut the door and didn't. But also, too, in the other hand, Carolina came back. Mm-hmm. That's something that you're not going to hear a lot. It's more along the lines of Atlanta gave the game to Carolina, but with Carolina being a 6-5 ball team, can we say that Carolina won this game off of a comeback instead of the latter? Can we say that?
I think so, because, we had halftime adjustments. We were actually throwing the ball downfield in the second half. We were doing more so spreading the ball out instead of just trying to run it, because we kind of see that our running game was kind of getting held up a little bit in the first half. So, bam, we're going to adjust. We're going to see if we can air it out some. And it worked. Our first drive was that Xavier Legette touchdown. Bet. All right. They're going to give it to us. Let's see if they're going to stop it. They couldn't stop it. I'm not mad. I'm very happy with it. We won this game. We won this game.
I agree. Now, before we move on from this here, because we gotta close the book and go on to next week, which I'm looking forward to speaking on, is that with this game, Carolina moves a game behind Tampa Bay for the lead in the NFC South. Tampa Bay coming up short to the Buffalo Bills on the same day, on Sunday. We're seeing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield's MVP talk has kind of dwindled. And it's not because of bad play. He doesn't have his guys. He doesn't have all of his guys. But yet and still, there's no excuse. We play a physical game. Injuries happen. Next man up. With that being said, Carolina's in a prime position. After last week, losing to the Saints, game shouldn't have lost. Carolina should be sitting at 7-4. I believe that with every bit of my heart. They should be sitting here 7-4. But can't do anything about that. Can't cry over spilled milk. But the fact that they are still in the hunt for the NFC South right now. That is motivation for the Carolina Panthers going into this coming week. A big time win against the Atlanta Falcons. The sweep has occurred. We got our sweep. The Carolina Panthers able to get it done against the Atlanta Falcons. We will close the book on that series until next fall, when we'll be talking about it again. This is going to be crucial, just like this game coming up this week is going to be crucial. Not only is it Monday Night Football, prime time, this game is going to be across the pond, going over to the West Coast, Santa Clara, California, Levi Stadium, against the San Francisco 49ers. Now, before we begin talking about this game, I must divulge something. One of us, and I think you know, grew up a 49ers fan.
Everybody
Grew up a 49ers fan.
Everybody makes
That
mistakes.
was his squad when he was small. And who would have told him that he was going to be covering the Carolina Panthers, the hometown squad? Who would have sat back and would have told 5-year-old Shannon Smith that he would be covering the home team against his team, the San Francisco 49ers? But this is not about myself.
We got to give you a pass because the Panthers weren't there when you were younger.
See, that's why. And
We
I
gotta
tell
give you
everyone
a pass.
that is why. This is not defiance. This is not defiance. I am so old that I remember when there was no football in Carolina. I remember that. And when the football came, my dad, he got me Carolina Panthers stuff. I wore it, and then I realized, what was really crazy? They set Carolina in the NFC West with the 49ers.
I never got it.
Man, it was rough. I'm so glad that the NFL got their geography right and realized that Charlotte, North Carolina is not in the west coast of America, and deviated NFC North, NFC South, NFC East, NFC West. It deviated. Thank you, NFL. Because Lord have mercy, a conference game, seeing the San Francisco 49ers twice would break my heart. It would. But they will be seeing them once in a big game, Monday Night Football. This is going to be a game and a half. D, here's my question. And Willie, what's good, Willie? What's good, my man, Willie? Keep pounding and keep stacking. Willie.
KPB.
Yes, sir.
Willie.
I gotta love it right there. Willie, my cuz, man. That's my play cuz. Another play cuz. Him and Ryan ain't my play cousins right there. I claim them. But this game is going to be a big game. D, don't you believe that this game right here will be a turning point for this season?
Yes, it's a good measuring stick for us. If we can show that we can hold our own against a great team, then it's amazing. I mean, we showed we could against the Packers. Why not against the 49ers? I mean, unfortunately, we had that bad loss against the Saints, but then we came around and we beat the Falcons. That, to me, was the game of the week. So if we can stack that up and show some grit, some effort, some toughness, I mean, we've already seen enough from Bryce. Let's see if we can get a second week of toughness from this squad and go up against a team that when they're healthy, when they're good, when they're on, they're a playoff team. Measuring stick game, let's see what we can do.
Definitely. This is going to be a very interesting game because the thing with the 49ers, and of course with someone who's a fan of the squad, I can give a little more to the scouting report in this game. San Francisco, with the amount of injuries that they has been crazy. The quarterback carousel that they had between Brock Purdy and
Mac Jones.
it's the injuries that have been going on. Mac Jones coming in and playing. There's been injuries all over the place. No Fred Warner in this game, which is going to benefit the Panthers a good bit because Fred Warner being one of the best middle linebackers in the NFL out for the season. The thing that gets me about this San Francisco squad is that they are similar in the retrospect of the Panthers, as in Mac Jones or Brock Purdy, where they're playing. And Brock Purdy came off a big game. He came off a very big game, a very good game, statistically. The forward pass downfield, when it comes down to the receivers, there's not been a lot of the action in the forward pass from the receiver aspect. But plays have been made. Kyle Shanahan is an offensive guru, an offensive master. He knows what he's doing with an offense. He's been able to plug and employ guys into this offense to make this offense work. With Brock Purdy playing at the quarterback position, with Matt Jones at the quarterback position, that's something that presents a problem for the Panthers when it comes down to it. But, one thing I can say, with this offensive output that the Panthers had last week, this is something that can be seen yet again from either one of these quarterbacks. Both of these guys can play the game of football, but the way their offenses are set up, they're catered to in the same way, I would say. But let's go ahead and get it out of the way. We got to talk about it. There's going to be a man on the side of the San Francisco 49ers that Carolina Panther fans, they know well, and they love. They still love. I'm very thankful that I had him twice. Very thankful I had him twice. It's Christian McCaffrey, C-Mac, CMC, run CMC.
I thought you were going to say Eddie Pinheiro.
Oh, yeah, that too. And, Eddie Pinheiro, but I think he's hurt. I think he might be hurt.
Even if he wasn't hurt, we'd still be with him. It's fine. We're talking about C-Mac. I was joking. I'm not.
But that was good. That was a good save. I like it. I will take that. That was good. That was good to me for real. But oh man, and appreciate this. Willie right here said, I made it to the game. This team has a cold-blooded player, BY9, and this team does not give up and believes that they can compete with any team. Absolutely. Definitely. I do believe that. That's why this game is not going to be an easy game for the San Francisco 49ers. They're not. But C-Mac in that backfield with the San Francisco 49ers, X factor for this game. Seeing him as a San Francisco 49er does make me smile. Yes, it does. But the Carolina Panthers, no one love CMC, C-Mac, everything about him. Heck of a player, wonderful player. He will be an X factor in this game, hands down. This is going to be very, very interesting. But one thing's for certain and two things are for sure. If that Carolina Panther run defense shows up, it is going to be very, very hard for the San Francisco 49ers to manufacture any type of yards, any type of offense, if they take that running game away. Now, as someone who has a lot of love for Bryce Young and a lot of love for Brock Purdy, in taking these run games away, Rico Dowdle will have to make a impact in this game, definitely. Mm-hmm. But we're looking at this quarterback duo right here. We're looking at this quarterback matchup that we have here. Brock Purdy, Bryce Young. Brock Purdy has been there. He's been to the Super Bowl. He's been to the NFC title game. He has. Bryce, I hope he has that same success. I do. But coming off of these big games this coming week, the eyes are going to be on the quarterback position, don't you think, D?
Definitely. It has to be. I mean, we have up-and-coming players. They have more established players. But unfortunately for them, they're hurt. So we're going to see if Brock Purdy can, play this game with his second string receivers, basically. Let's see, since you have all these accolades, you have been to a Super Bowl. Show me that you're a Super Bowl caliber quarterback against an up and coming team that knows what it's like to be at the bottom and refuses to go back.
That is going to be a fight and a half, definitely. The running games are going to have to be factors as well, too. Rico Dowdle up against CMC in this game here. Will we see Rico Dowdle come back to what he was? Will we see CMC run on this Panthers defense? Because what I look at in this Panthers defense with the way that they have played, now they let Bijan Robinson run the football. He ran the football effectively last week, but there was no passing game involved. It was one-dimensional on the offensive side of the ball for the Atlanta Falcons. So it was playing Atlanta to their strength, which we don't know what that is because, Lord, with the way that they're being coached right now, their running game may be good one day. Their passing game may be good one day. But the establishing play of this offense that Carolina will be seeing in the guru of Kyle Shanahan, we're going to see what Carolina's defense is made of. And with what Carolina has done defensively in a good bit of their games, this is not going to be easy at all. This is not going to be easy. And like Willie said in the comments, it's going to come down to the play caller. Opening up the playbook for BY9.
Yeah.
We got to talk right here. Dave Canales, whoever's calling plays out there for the Panthers, are they going to play it safe? Or are they going to let Bryce play after a momentous game that he had this past week? We're going to see that. And this is going to be an away game. It's going to be a night game. It is going to be a fun game, I believe. And I definitely will say this. It'll be better than the Monday Night Football game that we had yesterday. It'll be better than that game. I believe that it will be. This is going to be interesting to watch. The podcast Smitty Bowl, which will be the San Francisco 49ers versus the home team, Carolina Panthers. But that is all that we have on this Tuesday edition of the Cat Cave. You may now exit the Cat Cave for more. Tune in to Tobacco Sports Radio's YouTube channel and make sure that you are here on the Keep Pounding Podcast Network, powered by the Fans First Sports Network, watching the Cat Cave for D White and for Shannon Smith, aka Podcast Smitty. Go Panthers, except
APB.
Except against my 49ers. That's a joke. Let's go Carolina. Let's go Panthers.
APB.